Welcome to another edition of CarPodChats. I'm your host, Dan Malavé. Today, I'm not here to talk about the ones who couldn't cut it. I'm here to talk about the ones who could. The closers, the pros, the quiet killers, the ones who hit their numbers, built real relationships, helped the green peas, stayed late, trained the new guy, and still walked. This episode is for the ones who didn't burn out. They just burned up, silently, slowly, and nobody asked why. We lose good people in this business, not because they didn't love the job, but because we made it too hard to love. So today, we're going to talk about it. The real reasons why good salespeople quit. Not the excuses we tell ourselves, not the post-mortem, they just weren't a good fit nonsense. I'm talking about the quiet frustrations no one talks about. This one's personal, because I've sat in the tower watching top reps walk, and every time it happens, there's a piece of me that wonders, could we have done something different? So buckle in. This episode's not for the faint of heart. It's for the folks still fighting the good fight, and for every leader who wants to keep their top dogs from walking out the door. Let's talk about it. Here's the first truth bomb. Good salespeople don't need babysitting. They need belief. But too many managers, and yeah, I've been guilty of this too, start treating their best people like suspects instead of teammates. Micromanagement kills momentum. You got a guy who's been selling 20 cars a month for a year straight. Why the hell is he still being asked to send 4 texts and 5 emails just to prove he's following up? Let me say it clearly for the back row. The best performers are often punished for being consistent. Oh, I see you're always on the board. Must be cherry picking. Or you're always closing. What's your secret? As if being successful is something to question instead of something to support. You know what top salespeople crave more than a spiff or a pizza party? Trust. Plain and simple. Let them work. Let them thrive. Check in, not check up. There's a difference. And stop measuring effort like it's equal to hours spent in the break room. Just because someone isn't loud doesn't mean they're not working. I once had a guy on my team, quiet, methodical, always early, rarely asked for help. He'd close 18 to 20 cars a month. No drama. No excuses. One day he quit, said, I'm tired of feeling like I have to defend my success. That hit me because he wasn't wrong. Management misses the signs because we're too focused on volume, not value. We look at the numbers and forget the person. Just hit your number isn't leadership. It's math. And nobody stays in this business long term for math. Great people don't need constant praise, but they do need to feel like someone notices. If they're always carrying the floor, someone needs to carry them too. Now you ever heard the saying, it's not the big things that break you, it's the little things that don't stop? That's what happens in this business. Not all at once, not with some blowout fight or massive betrayal. No, it's slow, subtle, quiet, one cut at a time. First, it's the lead that gets passed to someone else. Then it's the TO that magically disappears. Next thing you know, that customer you followed up with for weeks sold by someone else and you're told to be a team player. It's the floor rotation that mysteriously resets when management's buddy is back from lunch. It's hearing, I didn't know you were working that deal, when the deal's already in F&I. These things don't seem like much to outsiders, but they do add up. And to a good salesperson, someone who actually gives a damn, it feels like betrayal, even if no one intended it that way. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Nobody says anything because they don't want to be labeled difficult. So they swallow it day after day, week after week. They watch the favoritism. They watch the politics. They keep producing, but inside, they're already halfway gone. Because here's the truth. High performers don't like fighting for basic fairness. They're willing to earn it, not beg for it. You know what's even worse? When they raise a concern and it gets brushed off. Don't take it personal, or we'll look into it, or even you're doing great, don't worry about that. Let me tell you something. Dismissing a top performer's frustration just because they're still performing, that's leadership failure. Just because they're still producing doesn't mean they're not bleeding. At some point, they look at the scoreboard and ask, why am I the only one who cares? Why am I still pushing when nobody's got my back? And then one day, they're gone. No fight, no email, just a resignation slip and a thank you for the opportunity. You don't get an explosion, you get an empty desk. That's how good people quit. They don't need drama, they just need relief. Let's talk about the other landmine, pay plans. Yes, the great dealership illusion. We're updating the comp structure to better reflect the market. Every salesperson knows what that really means. You're about to make less money. But here's the kicker. The top guys and gals don't complain right away. They try to adapt. They believe you when you say, it'll even out. And then they start doing the math. $100 mini instead of $600. New unit bonus now kicks in at 15 instead of 12. Back end split just got shaved 5%. It's not one big cut, it's slow erosion. And all of a sudden, the person who used to earn $12,000 a month now earns $9,000, doing the exact same work, maybe more. And when they question it, what do they hear? You still got opportunity. You just have to grind harder. This is the business. No, this is why they leave. Top performers don't mind hard work. What they mind is dishonesty. When you sell them on one opportunity, then quietly pull the rug, you break something. You lose trust. I've sat with salespeople making six figures year after year, only to watch their income slide because someone upstairs needed to tighten margins. And when they walked, leadership was shocked. How could they leave? They were killing it. Exactly. That's why they left. They were killing it, and you still found a way to cheapen it. Let me say it bluntly. Changing the pay plan without a conversation is how you tell someone you're not worth what you were. And the best of the best, they don't stay where they're not valued. They'll find another store, another brand, another industry. You can't afford to lose them, but if your pay plan says otherwise, they'll believe you. Now let's get into the part nobody puts in the recruiting video, culture. And no, I'm not talking about the fake hype, not the morning bell rings, not the matching polo shirts, not the motivational posters and quarterly raffles. I'm talking about how people treat each other when the manager walks away. You know what drives good people out faster than a bad comp plan? Toxic culture. When your team feels more like a clique than a crew, then backstabbing is more common than backpatting. When the loudest, slimiest, most dishonest guy keeps getting praised, and the clean, ethical top performer gets ignored, that's when people check out. I had a guy once tell me, Dan, I'm the number one guy on the floor, but I feel like a stranger here. That's not culture, that's exclusion. Favoritism kills culture faster than any pay plan ever could. When managers play favorites, when certain people can get away with murder and others get written up for being 2 minutes late, it sends a message. This isn't about performance. It's about politics. Top people don't need to be coddled. They just want a level playing field. If you walk into the tower and already know whose side the manager is on before hearing both sides of the story, that's not leadership. That's bias. And don't get me started on toxic positivity. That fake rah-rah attitude that ignores real issues. Telling someone to smile when they're drowning doesn't help them swim. It makes them feel invisible. And that right there is the core issue. Top performers leave when they feel invisible. When they're winning and no one notices, when they speak up and no one listens, when they're loyal and no one cares, and once they realize the culture won't change, they change their environment. Let's talk about the silent killer. Not burnout from overwork, but burnout from under recognition. See, top salespeople don't show up for the job. They show up for the craft. They take pride in the pitch. They care about the customer. They study their numbers. They live and breathe this thing. But what happens when that passion gets met with indifference? When you're the only one on the floor still pushing the standards and everyone else is cutting corners? When you're watching managers give deals away to rookies just to make them feel good? When you get pulled into a closed-door meeting, not to be recognized, but to be reminded to smile more or stop intimidating the team? Yeah, that's when passion turns into pain, because you start asking questions in your head like, why do I care more about this place than the people running it? Why am I protecting this brand harder than the ones collecting the bonuses? It's exhausting being the one who still gives a damn in the dealership that acts like effort is an inconvenience. You want to know when good salespeople start checking out? It's not after one bad day. It's after they've had 30 good days and no one noticed. After they've stuck through 12 Saturdays in a row without complaining. After they've closed 20 cars in a month and got a cool, let's see 22 next month in return. At some point, they say, you know what? I'm done being the hero. I just want peace. And that's when the exit door starts to look like salvation. Not because they don't love the grind, but because the grind stopped loving them back. You want to keep a good rep? Feed their passion. Don't poison it. Let me give you some real world heat, not theory. Real stories, real people, real regrets. First one, I had a closer, one of the best I've ever seen. Guy was surgical. TOs were his playground. He'd land deals from thin air. He trained the new guy, took him under his wing, taught him everything. 3 months later, the new guy gets a bonus. My guy, barely a nod. When he brought it up, management said, well, we expect greatness from you. He needed encouragement, and just like that, he was done. He didn't argue. He just said, I won't fight to be average here, and he left. Second one, this one hurts. Female rep on my team outperformed every guy on the floor. Never complained, never missed a day. She outsold everyone 3 months straight. Clean, honest deals, but she never got recognition. Every time a customer called back asking for a manager, she got skipped. Every time bonuses were handed out, somehow she was just under the tier. One day, she walked into my office and said, Dan, I love selling, but I hate the politics, and I hate feeling like I'm invisible. That was her last day. I still remember her face. She wasn't angry, just tired. Third one, 10-year veteran. Everyone respected him. Solid closer, quiet giant. New GM comes in with something to prove, starts making changes. The veteran rep offers insight, advice, nothing aggressive, just feedback. The GM shrugs him off and says, this isn't a democracy. You're replaceable. 10 years of loyalty erased in one sentence. The guy took off his name tag, handed me his keys, and said, maybe I'm replaceable, but you'll miss me when I'm gone. And we did. Every story has one thing in common. It wasn't money. It wasn't leads. It wasn't hours. It was the feeling of being dismissed, of being unseen, of being treated like a number, not a human being. Great salespeople don't just want to win. They want to win for a team that notices when they do. To every sales manager, GSM, GM, or owner, listen close. If you've got someone on your team right now who shows up, delivers, trains others, takes pride in their craft, and closes deals with consistency, don't wait until their seat is empty to realize their value. You want to keep your top people? Here's what they need, and it costs you nothing. Number one is recognition, not fake praise, real, intentional acknowledgement. A 2-minute conversation saying, I see you, I appreciate you, that goes further than a $100 bonus. Number two, stability. Don't mess with their pay every quarter. Don't shift their leads around behind closed doors. Don't play politics with their deals. Number three, don't micromanage. Don't second guess everything they do. They earned your trust. Act like it. Number four, a seat at the table. You don't have to take every idea they give you, but let them speak. Listen to your floor generals. They know more about what's working than your reports do. Number five, fairness. Make it a level playing field. That's it. They don't need special treatment, just a fair shot. You can't replace loyalty. You can't fake culture. And once you lose someone good, you don't just lose a salesperson. You lose momentum. You lose leadership. You lose credibility with the rest of the team. So don't wait for the resignation letter to say what you should have said weeks ago. Say it now. We see you. We value you. Let's win together. To the closers out there, the ones still holding the line, still showing up, still delivering, even if it feels like no one sees you, I see you and I respect you. And if you've been thinking about quitting, ask yourself this. Is it the job you hate or the environment that's drained your love for it? Sometimes a new zip code is all it takes to feel alive again. But other times, all it takes is a manager who finally says, I've got your back. Choose wisely. You only get one name in this business. Protect it. And for the leaders, don't just protect the dealership. Protect your people. The good ones are rare, and if you've got them, treat them like gold. You already know this is CarPodChats, and I'm Dan Malavé. The next episode is going to be titled The Desking Dance, When to Push, When to Fold. We're going deep into strategy, psychology, and timing. When to ask for the deal and when to step back. Until then, stay sharp, stay grateful, and don't let the good ones walk out the door. See you next time.